What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema
and Mr. James Shu for our first movie review of 2016.com. I just try to make that sentence so much longer just so you have to wait it out.
Loved it.
So today, we're here for the man who's starting to be known as the director of Transformers, and exclusively that. However, there's no Transformers in this movie. It's actually based off of a real story.
But you could actually probably throw in Transformers and it may actually look still like a Transformers film.
It definitely has a, it definitely looks to be a very action-driven movie. That's 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. This is a movie that I've seen advertised on, but I've not really paid much attention to. I know it is based off of a book called 13 Hours. It's also telling the story of the Chris Stevens, who was actually killed in Benghazi, September 11th, 2015. No, I don't think it was 15. 2012. Yeah, 2012. And
oh yeah, last year was 15.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was wondering.
It's late. It's late. So this is the kind of the true story about these soldiers that helped hold down a CIA covert location. But I only know that from reading about it. I mean, I don't know about you. I remember hearing inklings about this stuff, but I don't really recall this whole entire, this whole situation. But I guess not many people do know about these secret soldiers. They just know about the American, what's the term he'd be called? He's the American, when you're in another country and you're the American ambassador in Benghazi. So, but I know of his passing, and I knew that, there was a lot of people who would hold up signs or saying, like, this isn't how we all feel, and we're sorry, America. But I didn't know about this whole 13 Hours and this group of soldiers. The only thing I can really kind of take note of, besides Michael Bay's direction, is that John Krasinski, the famous, semi-famous actor from The Office, a huge comedic character, is going to be taking the lead in this very serious movie. My mind goes to American Soldier.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper.
And The Lone Survivor, Mark Wahlberg, and these movies that really kind of focus on American soldiers and what they've done. As I've described many times before, in these type of movies, these are movies that are really hard to kind of critique because
you'll offend somebody.
Well, you're afraid you're going to offend somebody, and people kind of it blinds that line between being a movie and being not real, and then the real story. People kind of assume if I'm, that's always kind of a bad thing. And Lone Survivor I thought was good, but didn't think it was spectacular. American Sniper, not American Soldier. American Sniper I thought was good, but nothing spectacular either. But maybe this will change my my way, even though it is January and this is Michael Bay.
Hey, we're gonna see a lot of explosions, and this is a longer film.
2.5 hours. So it's a pretty long run time, So.
With trailers, almost 3 hours.
Yeah, it's up there. So hopefully Michael Bay uses every moment to show everyone that he still has it, though he directed Pain and Gain and proved
The Rock.
But no one remembers that. Everyone already kind of forgot about that movie.
That movie was so good.
It was good. It is good, and no one talks about it, man. It's a shame. But before we get into that, real quick, 2016, we got a new all-time highest-grossing film in the United States. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. How impressive is that? I mean, that's pretty exciting,
It is.
And then we got Oscar nominations today. Revenant earned 12 nominations. Mad Max Fury Road earned 10. If you would have told me a year and a half ago that Mad Max was going to be one of my favorite movies of the year and earned 10 Oscar nominations, probably would have smacked you in the face and told you to get out of my face.
Jesus.
Probably wouldn't have happened like that, but I wouldn't have believed you.
Mad Max has a lot of momentum.
Max has a lot of momentum.
But Revenant taking over for the Golden Globes, Best Picture and Best Director.
And Best Actor.
And Leo Best Actor, Leo. Can Leo have enough steam? Or is it going to be like the Titanic and lose?
The one actor that I thought could compete. There? Steam. Yeah. It was good. I think the one actor that could really compete with Leo wasn't nominated.
Leo.
So, to me, I'm not really worried.
So Leo's gonna win one?
I would think, and I think, but it's the campaign every year. Everyone thinks every performance that Leo has done he deserves it for, but this is the movie he actually deserves it for. But who knows? Maybe the Academy's just out to get Leo. But at this point, you're just like, it's better off for him not to win an Oscar, because then he'll have that glory. Like, that actor, he never won an Oscar. Alfred Hitchcock never won an Oscar. Like, that's a very prestigious club in a sense, you know. But there is some really interesting choices. They decided not to give Ridley Scott a directing nomination and instead give George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road, which is totally rightfully deserved, a directing nomination. Tom Hardy, who wasn't getting any love really in any of the critics categories or Golden Globes, has now also earned a supporting actor nomination for Mad Max. Or not Mad Max, I'm sorry, for The Revenant, which I'm really excited about because he was one of my favorite parts in the entire movie. So it's going to be an interesting year. I mean, it seemed like everything was kind of really like cut and dry, but it's going to be an interesting year. So I'm excited. Whole other month away from that. A month and 2 weeks, actually. So let's stop all this nonsense and get into 13 hours because we have a long way to go.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, so we just got 13 hours. And unfortunately for me, it maybe felt like 13 hours. I fell asleep. I can't believe it. I don't really do that often.
Very, very rare.
Yeah, I don't really do that, and that's not because of the movie. I'm sure I did a double at F45 yesterday and did another today. That's what happens when you're doing those games. Anyway, yeah, I freaking.
Michael Bay is gonna see this and be very disappointed.
I freaking fell asleep an hour in, so for me it felt like 13 hours. Chasing cinema.
It's a good night's sleep.
Tell me, how was the movie?
You didn't miss much. No. I honestly would say that, you know, Michael Bay just has a bad rap, you know, and people kind of use him as one of those directors that people just could kind of trash at, and oh, you're gonna Michael Bay it, which, you know, talks a lot about just, yeah, all flashy
and hot girls.
Yeah, and no real like content. Again, like I said earlier, I really think he kind of showed that he still has a great direction with Pain and Gain, but obviously not many people agreed with me on that, or at least felt that it was still worth talking about. This movie, I think it was a solid Michael Bay, you know? I mean, I think that he was trying to do something really good here. I think he did get caught up in the action. I mean, personally, I think that you have to really kind of be into the, I don't want to say war, but that type of an action environment, you know, like people who like to play Call of Duty. I mean, I never got into video games or anything like that, but like people who play these types of games and likes, you know, like just soldier type combat, because it does get very graphic. I mean, there are scenes where we see people's arms hanging off, and it's not like a quick cut where most movies would do that. I mean, we're just like seeing it hang there. I mean, it's pretty graphic. It is a very, very graphic movie, but some of the action is fun. It just gets old. I think that it gets to a point where you're just kind of, you know, 2.5 hours, it gets quite long. And like the movies that I mentioned earlier, American Sniper and The Lone Survivor, of course, at some point in the movie, we see these real people. We see the real people that lived and those that also died during this whole process. And we do know that this is based off real events, and that's when emotion kicks in. But as I've always told you, you know, that I can't use that emotion towards how I feel about the film. I have to act like this never really happened to kind of really judge the movie as a piece of art. And I think that emotion was only there in the final moments of the film when semi-spoiler, this is based on true story, so if you aren't aware, I don't want to spoil it for you, but towards the end when, well, I'll just say when everything is resolved. John Krasinski, who is a comedic actor who I found was very funny on The Office, who's done other things, really kind of brought it in this movie. But again, I think he's caught up in a movie that's more focused on action and firefights than the real kind of emotion of being there trapped for 13 hours on this hidden site. I think that the movie also, you know, it's one of the situations where it could have really happened, but in the movie I had a hard time believing it. There's that character that you know, the higher up guy on the team, who is always doing the wrong thing. You know, like all these people are like, we gotta do this, and he's like, no. And he always has some real nonsense, like it's my orders, and he's like really selfish. So if that was really the case with this character, who's played by Gale from Breaking Bad, his name is escaping me right now, I just felt it was a bit much. Like he just seemed too against the grain and too like movie soldierish, like we're not doing it that way because I said so. It could have really happened, but in this movie it was hard for me to buy that because there was so much going on. We were like, are you kidding me right now? But overall, I thought it was an okay movie. I mean, it wasn't as bad as I think a lot of people are going to go or people might be expecting when they see Michael Bay's name and they see John Krasinski in this. I mean, I think he has some, I think the reason to see this movie is for him, but easily could have been cut 30, 45 minutes. We could have made it a more condensed picture. We could have focused on the emotions of the soldiers and how they felt. I think there is some moments where we really get to kind of see, you know, how these characters react to the firefights. I mean, there are breaks in between these certain moments of action and ambushing and defense, and you know, you kind of really see how they react to that and how each of the soldiers feel once they've survived or, you know, and seen someone of theirs have fallen. But it still never kind of breaks that wall of just being a movie about those soldiers and these guys killing each other. And you know, it's very pro-American soldier and very like, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, you know, as a full movie, we're just kind of looking at like, well, those guys are the bad guys, we're the good guys, and we're not looking at it as like a political statement. Like this, to me, this movie didn't really say much on a political level. It was just more like, this is what happened, here you are, and like, this is what happened to these soldiers. And maybe the point of the screenwriter Hogan, I believe, I can't remember the rest of the name, but I know it was Hogan, kind of took out the political.
Is the Hulk?
No. Yeah. But maybe he didn't want to say something political, but I mean, in a movie like this, at a time like now, it seems like it'd be appropriate to kind of have you know, a real message about this entire situation. But overall, I don't think it was bad. For our first movie of the year, I don't think it was a very bad experience.
It wasn't a stinker.
No, it wasn't a stinker. It just was okay, but to be honest, I don't think it's something we'll remember in a few months.
And if I could throw this in, because it's the internet, and I think we have to, because I don't think you really elaborate on it enough, he's not diminishing anything that real people did in real life.
Yes.
It's just strictly based on
a movie.
What you're basing on a movie, that's all. And also, if I could throw this in too, that maybe you feel this way because that's just how it was too.
Yeah. Well,
you know, for all we know, this was exactly spot on.
Yeah.
And they didn't try to Hollywoodize anything.
Yeah, and that's true. And, you know, that's the thing. Like, a lot of, obviously, like, I know there are people out there who are not going to understand that what I'm trying to get across. There's living proof on our reviews of American Sniper and Lone Survivor that you have to eliminate every reality feeling of it and just look at it like a movie, like I just would any other movie, and how I felt about characters, regardless if that's what they really did. If I don't believe that's how they did it in the movie, or I don't believe that that's how the character would be portrayed, then it was how that actor portrayed that character and how that director made that character make me feel to believe him or not believe him. You know, it's not about the real character at all. You could eliminate the entire reality of this, and like I said, it might have been just, you know, there might not be been a political theme that needed to be here, but when you make a movie and you try to spin a message on it, usually there's a reason you want to say something. And yes, I think it was more of like just a very patriotic message of just being like, this is what we've done, these are the people that fight for us but don't get the notice. It's always the people at the top that get the notice that aren't out there in the trenches. But even then, I feel that it was kind of really reaching for that. So I mean, if you know, if you can't understand that, I mean, I guess that's your opinion, but you know, hopefully you'll get what I mean.
Love it.
ChaseCinema.com/13 hours, and actually Louis Vuitton wrote the review, so make sure to see if Mr. Vuitton agreed with me or not.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if he feels the same as you. You know, because he maybe loved it.
Yeah, maybe.
But there's only one way to find out.
Is to go to ChaseCinema.com/13 hours. Next week, Fifth Wave, and I think Dirty Grandpa.
I'm absolutely watching Dirty Grandpa. Fifth Wave does not look good to me.
Fifth Wave.
And I like...
I think there's something else too, but I can't remember.
Moretz?
Yeah, Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah, I like Chloe Grace Moretz.
She's been on a...
But this movie doesn't look good to me.
She hasn't done anything good really lately, huh?
Since Hit Girl?
Yeah, since Hit Girl. They put her over the... That was like her... What's that? She peaked. Because then she was in Carrie, which wasn't very good, and then she was in that.
She was okay in that.
She was in that movie where she like died.
She died.
Yeah.
And then
If I Stay.
She's in heaven.
Yeah, If I Stay, or she's like in limbo, and then she did something else too.
But not Inception. You guys get that?
Okay. She did something else too recently, and I can't remember what it was.
And it wasn't great.
Nope.
And this movie, and especially with the release date it's getting.
Yeah.
No faith, man.
Well, I don't. Okay, yeah. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to say much more. But, you know, we'll be here. It's New Year.
Bad Grandpa looks hilarious to me.
Angry Grandpa. Or, no, not Angry
Grandpa. Bad Grandpa.
Dirty Grandpa.
The Jackass one.
Yeah.
Dirty Grandpa.
Angry Grandpa's YouTube channel. Dirty Grandpa. Is
really?
Robert De Niro. Yeah.
I thought that was the Jackass one.
Bad Grandpa.
What'd I say?
You said bad grandpa, but I said angry grandpa because I said angry grandpa.
Understood.
And angry grandpa's YouTube channel, but dirty grandpas, Robert De Niro and Zac Efron.
Zac Efron.
I can't even buy this movie because in the trailers I don't even buy De Niro in this environment. Like knowing his personality on like talk shows and things like that, and just kind of seeing like I'm honestly like the only reason why I want to see this is because I want to see what Mr. Louis Vuitton has to say about it. Because for those of you that don't know, he's a big Robert De Niro fanatic. Owns every single movie that Robert De Niro has ever done. Even ones that were much harder to find. So I'm really interested in seeing how he has every one. Every single one he's ever made, and some of those took him a very long time to track down because they never were made wide and things like that. But wow. yeah, big fan. So
that's pretty cool.
I'm more excited for his opinion. But if you want to find out, you have to tune in and be here next week as we do that. Also, guys, if you did not know, I've accepted the 365-day movie challenge in which I watch a brand new movie that I've never seen ever before every single day for the next year. And of course, because my luck, it's leap year, which means it's actually 366 days, but I'm just calling it because of the name. That's what people know it as. I'll be tweeting about it. I'm tweeting about it every single day. Haven't missed a day yet. That's wonderful.
What'd you watch today?
All 11 days. I watched Children of the Corn, 666, Isaac's Return. And I'm in the middle of watching all of the Children of the Corn movies. So yeah, but I'm watching a lot of other great stuff. I watched The Resurrection of Jake the Snake last night, which is a documentary about the famous wrestler who went down an addiction path and kind of his redemption and getting into the Wrestling Hall of Fame. Phenomenal, very moving documentary. I've watched some other really great stuff. I watched Top 5 with Chris Rock. I watched Fatso, which is a 1980s film. I watched An Honest Liar, another documentary. You can find all of that on our YouTube channel. You could look up the 365-day movie challenge. You'll find weekly updates I'm doing every single Monday on what I've watched, how I feel about it, or you can follow me on Twitter and you can see all that. All those links are down here in the description box below, or click the little eye up here and it'll point you in the right direction. What was the best
movie of the year for those so far of the 365? So out of the
I think I'm today's day 11.
Sorry.
Yeah, I started on
I'm all over the place.
No,
that's how tired I am.
No, you're right. But I started on the 4th, so I didn't start it on the 1st.
Okay, it is the 16th.
Yeah, I believe.
Okay.
But I didn't start. So I started on the 4th. The best movie out of all those, that's really tough. Probably The Resurrection of Jake the Snake. It was a very amazing documentary. And being a wrestling fan and a film fan, I mean, it was a blend of a lot of stuff. So. But go check all that out. You can go to chasingcinema.com, and after you're done reading the review on 13 Hours, you can click the little subline called Jacob's Journal, and that is all of my my rants and vents about having to watch a movie every single day. So far, it hasn't been that tough. I mean, it's kind of tough when it gets real late, but hasn't been too hard yet. But then again, I'm only 11 days in. So.
And if you saw the 13 hours, the Secret Soldiers of Benghazi.
Yes.
I want to know your opinions. Leave it in the description below because I didn't see. I fell asleep like a moron.
It's okay. It's early. It's early. We'll forgive you.
Not how I wanted to start at 2016.
Well, it could be worse. You could have started at watching.
And fell asleep at Batman v Superman.
Ooh, that would be bad.
Oh, I'll kill myself.
Yeah, that'd be really tough. All the fanboys cheering. Yours. Oh well. Hey, it's gonna be a crazy year. That's all I could say.
Just 6 superhero films.
Yeah, ending 2015 with Star Wars at the top. I've not stopped talking about Star Wars. It really kind of speaks to. I know me and you when we did our 45-minute review of Star Wars. We both talked so highly of the film, but we were like, it's a really great film, but we're not sure if it was going to make our top 10s, because we enjoyed it, but it wasn't super. But out of all the movies that I've seen as of late, it's the one movie I cannot stop talking about people. And we talk about it. We're in a group chat because we're always talking about it. And I wonder, could Star Wars be dethroned this year? Could it? That'd be interesting. Or could at least another film surpass Avatar?
Well, statistically, it don't look like
no.
Star Wars will take on Avatar. So James Cameron will still become the king.
Yeah, worldwide. But domestically...
Which in reality is all that matters anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean...
in reality.
It's tough, though, because the China market, which is what kind of really pushed Avatar. I mean, Avatar...
It is.
Me and Kent looked it up. Avatar made 72% of its worldwide money not like, it was all worldwide money that earned 72% of its gross income, only 20 some odd percent here. Star Wars made a ton of money here, but in the China market, they just got the prequels like a few years ago.
Yeah.
Like they're so behind in that they're so behind in the Star Wars world that they're not going to go to like they will Avatar. But I don't know, maybe Batman v Superman will change everyone's tune.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I know a lot of people are discounting Batman v Superman. They're like, oh, I won't do that. But internationally, it don't get bigger than Batman, and it don't get bigger than Superman, and that's the truth.
And it's a movie that people have been wanting forever.
Yeah.
And it's superheroes, and I know because I know some of you are just rolling your eyes right now, but I would not bet on it. I wouldn't bet against it. Do I think it'll honestly surpass Star Wars? No, but I think it'll be.
I don't think so either, honestly.
I think it'll be a very interesting race, though.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but you just.
And then if it's really good, you got to go see it 4 or 5 times. I mean, you saw Star Wars 3, 4. I saw it 3 times.
5 times.
5 times? Not as much as Mad Max, though.
How many times did we see Mad Max, Ken?
7. Oh my
7
goodness.
times. Even with Mr. Danny Bay.
7 times for Mad Max.
That's how good Mad Max was.
Yeah, the only thing I could say about the movies from 2015 and 13 Hours is that they all came out in a year frame of Mad Max Fury Road. It's the only thing about it that's just kind of a bummer. But I don't know.
It's awesome.
Mad Max Fury Road. Amazing. But I heard George Miller is not interested in doing another one.
No, and then he just said, and recanted, as soon as he got the Oscar nominations, right away he came back. Because when I read that, I got depressed.
Yeah, because Furiosa. We need Mad Max Furiosa.
I just want to go back to the world. You want to give me Furiosa, something that's cool? You want to give me another Mad Max? I don't care what it is, but I want to be back in the world. I got depressed.
Yeah.
And then he just said, I didn't say that. It was loud, and the reporter misheard me because I said that I said that I need to do another movie. Then I can do it on because I had to go through 27 hours and all that.
Well,
so,
I thought
thank you.
I thought that was so weird when I was like reading that, because I remember him pitching. Like, I'm pretty sure he pitched Fury Road and Furiosa like together. Like, he had Furiosa an idea of Furiosa already. Like, he knew like that was where he wanted to go. Might change his opinion now, but I knew that he had a plan of doing a sequel. So, but then again, I honestly would be amazed. I would probably bet my house that whatever he produces, it won't be as good as Mad Max. And I'm not saying that like it's going to be bad, but just because we've already been to that world now, it's not going to be as special as that first time we were going. But I mean, I would love for him to prove me wrong.
What if he makes another one and you think it's better than Mad Max?
Then I'd hail him as the greatest filmmaker of all time. Yeah. And most people don't even know the guy's name. George Miller, man. I mean, I'm so glad he got the directing nomination, because we were talking
his first
about
time.
Yeah, I mean, to direct that movie, we were even talking about it. Me and Ken, how do you pitch that movie to studio execs? Like, just trying to explain it. Like, well, I want this car chase.
Joe.
And there's this guy.
How do you pitch that? Yeah. This guy's disgusting.
What do you mean? Like, what about like the ladies? I forget their names. But like, we're gonna have like a naked woman. They're gonna be bait, so all these grandma snipers could be shooting at people. I'm like, dang, man. We're gonna have these guys who shoot chrome in their face. There's gonna be like a huge amount of steering wheels, and this guy's gonna take it. He's gonna strap them on the hood and use them as a blood bank. Like, the guys are like, what is he talking about? Security.
What are you talking about, actually? Yeah, because even the blood bank part, even as I was still watching, I'm thinking,
like, that movie. Like, if you would have told me that a schizophrenic walked in to the studios and was just like pitching these thoughts, and they made a movie about it, I'd believe it, because that's how, like, just outrageously crazy they are. And for some reason they all fell together, and not only did me and Mr. James Shue love that movie, but it seems like the entire Academy did too. So that's what really excites me.
That alone is something.
An odd movie like that, a movie that wouldn't usually get Oscar love, is getting that much love. I'm really excited about that. And though I'm doubtful, but I was doubtful it was going to get nominated, if that movie
wins Best Picture,
I mean, I would be just so happy. And it's not even that, maybe that movie might not even be my favorite of those nominations. We haven't done our top 10 yet, but just like the change of pace to see.
Well, if they win Best Picture, I guarantee Warner Brothers will have a dump truck of money in front of his house saying,
do it again.
You're doing a sequel.
They're just
right now.
They're like, you want cars? We got cars. You want
What do you
more
want?
cars?
What do you just tell us? What it'll be literally a dump truck full of money.
Man,
it's like the guy that won the lottery.
I'm ready for it. And
dump truck.
The only bum thing is that I wish I could see it in theaters again. I wish they would bring it back just for a week.
Luckily, we're able to enjoy that little run.
Well, luckily, AMC, the beautiful place that we're in, usually around Oscar time, plays the Best Picture nominees. You know, last year they did it in the year before, so hopefully we'll get Mad Max in theaters for at least the week before the Oscars, which is February 28th, I believe, or 27th, and we'll be able to enjoy it one last time in theaters.
There's still rumors we're going to get the black and white version this year. There's still rumors.
I think that movie, because, you know, and people ask for this, I know poor Kente's getting really tired, but another reason why I love Mad Max Fury Road so much is because that movie plays to old silent film style. Like, that movie could be played with no dialogue and everything is still understandable.
Well, Tom Hardy had 10 lines, so you're really not taking much away.
Well, but Tom Hardy, it's not even Tom Hardy. I mean, like you said, it's not Tom Hardy that makes that movie. It's not really any character that really makes it. It's the world that was created and the world that we're thrown into. But watching a black and white version or watching a silent version with
just music.
Yeah, I was just going to try to name the composer, but I can't remember his name. But just that music alone, I'm so up for it.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
I was really disappointed that wasn't on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, he said that's what the movie was about.
I'm all for it.
You could watch it and it'll still make sense.
Now, what I'm interested in is if that movie is even our #1 favorite movie of the year, because if not, that says a lot about the other movies.
We'll have to find out.
Next week.
All right, guys.
Till next week.
We'll be back.
Chasing Cinema is known as
the Film Lovers website.